A laugh echoed through the paddock, light, almost careless. But it wasn't laughter born from joy. It was laughter born from confidence. Because at the Nürburgring, the most brutal racetrack on Earth, a storm was brewing. A storm that would prove something no one in motorsport wanted to admit out loud. The greatest Formula One driver of this generation was preparing for victory in ways no one else could even imagine. This wasn't just another race. This was the moment years of hidden training, virtual obsession, and a complete mental transformation collided. And it all started with a laugh. May 10th through 15th, 2025. The Nürburgring Nordschleife. 154 turns, unpredictable weather, and a reputation for breaking champions. A routine GT3 test session was supposed to be quiet, controlled, normal. But lap after lap, a mysterious driver calling himself Herman was destroying lap records. Professional GT3 drivers watched their own times fall apart, not by tenths, but by seconds. The paddock buzzed with questions. Who was this German phantom? Where did he come from? How was he this fast? The truth was simple. Herman didn't exist. It was Max Verstappen. The four-time Formula One world champion had gone undercover using a fake name to test in secrecy at the very circuit where his entire mindset had been reshaped 5 years earlier. And when he did, he didn't just beat the benchmark lap time, he obliterated it. He shattered Christian Krognes' record of 7 minutes 49.578 seconds. Not by fractions, but by seconds. All while the motorsport world had no idea he was even there. Team 75, Bernhard kept it quiet. Not hiding from fans, hiding from competitors, because what Verstappen was building at the Nürburgring wasn't preparation for a single GT3 race. It was proof of a system, a revolutionary approach to racing that combined virtual mastery with real-world execution in ways no other driver had ever achieved. But this wasn't the first time the Nürburgring had changed Max Verstappen. October 11th, 2020. The same track, a different driver, a younger Verstappen trapped in a Red Bull that couldn't compete with Mercedes' dominance. Practice sessions were filled with complaints, frustration, and a radio filled with tension. I just didn't have the grip in Q3. Cold tires, understeer, lack of traction in freezing German conditions. He qualified third, he finished second, but something shifted that weekend. After the race, Verstappen said something that would define the next 5 years of his career. I should just try to do the best I can and get the best out of myself. That was the mental rewiring. Stop complaining about what you can't control. Start perfecting what you can. That moment at the Nürburgring became the foundation for everything that followed. The 2021 championship, the 2022 dominance, the record-breaking 2023 season, the 2024 title defense, 4 consecutive world championships, all built on a mindset change that happened on the same stretch of German asphalt where he would return 5 years later as Herman. The Nürburgring wasn't just a racetrack to Verstappen, it was psychological geography, the place where the old Max died and the unstoppable version was born. But mindset alone wasn't enough. What he did next separated him from every other driver in motorsport history. While rivals focused on physical training, media obligations, and rest, Verstappen built something in the virtual world, an obsessive preparation system so advanced it would let him break lap records at circuits he'd never physically driven. And it all started with a video game. Since 2015, Verstappen was part of Team Redline, one of the most elite sim racing teams in the world. But this wasn't a hobby, this was training. He approached iRacing with the same intensity he brought to Formula One. His rating climbed to 8,900, placing him in the top 0.5% of semi racers globally. He wasn't just fast, he was elite. The first time the world saw this system in action was the 2021 Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Jeddah was a brand new circuit. No driver had raced there before. Red Bull's official simulator wasn't ready. While other teams scrambled, Verstappen did something no one expected. He commissioned a custom simulation, spent days learning every braking point, every apex, every curb, and then during free practice one, the result was impossible to ignore. Purple, 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 every sector, every lap. He went fastest on his very first flying lap, while everyone else was still trying to figure out where turn 7 was. That wasn't talent, that was preparation, that was the system. If you're watching this on Daily Apex Up, pause for a moment and hit subscribe, because the next part of this story changes everything you thought you knew about racing. The Nürburgring Nordschleife became Verstappen's virtual obsession. Thousands of laps, laser-scanned precision, every turn memorized until it felt like he'd driven the track in real life. Then in 2024, he proved the system in the most absurd way. At Imola, he won the Formula One race. Less than 12 hours later, he climbed into a makeshift simulator inside a flower van and won the virtual Nürburgring 24 hours. 2 races, 2 victories, 1 in F1's fastest car, 1 in a van that smelled like roses. That moment defined his approach: motorsport as engineering, preparation as an exact science. The mental shift in 2020, the sim racing obsession, everything was converging back where it began. September 2025, race day at the Nordschleife. Fog swallowed the track, drizzle turned asphalt into a slick nightmare, and temperatures hovered around 8 degrees Celsius. Qualifying was delayed, and when it finally started, Verstappen qualified third. Familiar conditions, familiar position, but a different driver. When the lights went out, he didn't wait. By turn 1, he was in the lead and vanished into the fog. While others fought grip and visibility, Verstappen drove with surgical precision as if the track were already written in his mind. The virtual laps weren't practice, they were programming. Lap after lap, he extended his lead. No drama, no mistakes, no complaints. Silent dominance in conditions that would have broken most drivers. 5 years earlier, he'd finished second while complaining about the cold. Now, in identical conditions, he led without saying a word. His co-driver was Chris Lullum, a sim racer turned real-world GT3 driver. Verstappen didn't choose him by chance. It was a statement. The virtual world and the real world were the same, and together they were unstoppable. 4 hours later, Verstappen crossed the finish line first. The 57th ADAC Barbarossa Prize belonged to Max Verstappen and Chris Lullum, the same track where his mindset transformed in 2020, the same track where he tested as Herman, the same track he conquered in virtual reality, now conquered in reality. The motorsport world reacted instantly. Team 75 Bernhard, a 5-time Nürburgring 24-hour winner, was emotional. Hats off to Max Verstappen. George Russell admitted what everyone was thinking. F1 drivers are pretty jealous, not of the win, but of what it represented. Verstappen wasn't confined to Formula One. He wasn't limited by discipline. He could dominate anywhere, any car, any circuit. And this victory wasn't just a win, it was validation. Validation of the system, validation of virtual preparation, validation of the mental transformation that began in 2020. Every element worked perfectly. If you're still watching, comment Nordschleife below and tell us what you think is more powerful: talent or preparation, the secret testing, the virtual laps, the mental shift, the engineering mindset. It all proved one thing: other drivers had talent. Verstappen had a system, and that system was about to change everything. Because this wasn't the finish line, it was the starting gun. Verstappen didn't just win at the Nürburgring. He validated a new era of racing where mental strength, simulation training, and engineering precision can outpace pure talent. This victory wasn't the end. It was the beginning of a future where the line between virtual and real racing no longer exists. And if you think this changes motorsport, you're only seeing the first lap.